ladies and gentlemen, we are back. EGL League of Legends Championship Summoners Cup number 14. We are in the round of 16. And this game is going to be Heitott versus XU. As before, my name is The Pash. With me casting here is Elthazar. Who seems to be not available just now. That's not a problem. Are you here, Elthazar?
Apologies, I forgot to unmute my microphone because I am clever like that.
Yes, I suspected something along the lines of that. Okay, we're just getting the players in order here in the lobby, but then we should be jumping into Champ Select right away.
If anyone could hear that, my dog is about as excited as we are, I think, Pash.
I can't hear your dog. So, if he's excited, that's
Excellent.
good. Yep.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
He loves the league. Loves it as much as I do. which is a lot, if you haven't worked out that.
Yeah. League of Legends. Who does not love League of Legends, really? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Champ Select here. As it is Heitott versus XU in the EGL Summoners Cup number 14 any ranked tournament, last 16. What will be the first ban? Predictions. Not Jarvan the fourth. But,
Out comes the Jarvan ban.
Evelyn as well. Nothing too surprising right there.
Yep. Lucian AD Carry God is also been banned out. Very, very potent for Chaos. Is it Chaos X? Yeah. Chaos K. Chaos, that's what it was. Wow, I've been away for 10 minutes and I've already forgotten the team name. But yes.
Yes, it
Very
was Chaos
potent
versus
Chaos.
BJB. Chaos did take the win, and Lucian did come out really big in that game. Kassadin getting banned out as well. XU does not want to have that snowbally champion, and that is quite reasonable, as really none of the teams in today's tournament did so far. Fizz also getting banned away. Very popular ban in the EGL tournaments overall. And we're going to see what XU's last ban will be. Vi.
Interesting. But similar to Jarvan, basically, she's very, very good at engaging fights. With that Vault Breaker, with the Assault and Battery, she's very tanky thanks to her passive, granting a shield whenever she uses an ability on a set cooldown. We also have already seen the first 3 picks coming out. We've seen the Thresh picked up. We saw him in the first game, very, very potent support. I believe he was actually on the losing side of that game. But
Yes, he was.
Still... Pardon. It's still a very, very powerful pickup. On the opposing side, we do see the Shyvana picked up, banned in the first game, picked in the third. It looks like she'll actually be heading into the top lane. And we also do see Aatrox, who may well be going into the jungle. They may switch around, we do not know.
They may.
Looking across the Heitott, we do see Sandura hovering over the Lee Sin, that's almost definitely in the jungle. And Rata hovering over Renekton for a little bit, but decides to lock in the Caitlyn.
Yes, they do. So that's going to be the bottom lane sorted out here for Team Heitott, and we are aware of the typo in the Champ Select overlay. We are very sorry about that. We're kind of on a very tight schedule, so occasionally an error or two does slip through. We will get that fixed right away, as we do see more picks coming out here of XU. Annie, again, getting picked up. So far, has always either been banned or picked up in all the games that we watched. And Poppet then picking up the Ezreal. Hovering over the Ezreal so far, but might as well be a pickup. There it is. It's just going to be an Annie Ezreal bottom lane.
Annie Ezreal, the lane actually seen in the BJB bottom lane of the last game, actually.
That's true, yeah.
Exact same bottom lane. We see the Helix hovering over Anivia. Who knows? Of a similar possible playstyle to the Froggen. I would love to see Froggen-esque players coming out. Very possible, considering we do have a lot of Diamond players in this tournament. We also see Bloodire hovering over the Jax. Ever potent, ever threatening. Jax is an absolute monster in the top lane. Very commonly banned, actually, for that reason. He's one of few champions that can absolutely decimate a Shen in lane.
Yes, he can. So Shen has obviously not been picked up quite yet. Shyvana has. That's going to be the top lane for XU. I wonder if that's going to be a Nidalee. We're going to see here. I predict we will go. Ooh! Very often in this game, as spears do come out and do take away a lot of health.
Well, if that Zillion actually gets locked in, however unlikely I think it's going to be, that would actually counteract that spear damage very nicely, especially if Chrono Shift could be landed in a reliable fashion. Unfortunately, Chrono Shift being an ultimate has a much longer cooldown than the Javelin Toss coming out of Nidalee.
Oh yes, there is a time warp though, so the Chrono Shift's cooldown is not really reliable. You can't say it has that much of a cooldown. It just all come down to how well Zillion uses that time shift of his to set back his cooldowns, but it's not going to be a Zillion anyway, and we both know that. Syndra is getting hovered over. That is going to be a much more likely pick.
Definitely those Dark Spheres. There was actually a bug with Syndra in the last patch. There was a time where I would always get those two names mixed up, but there was actually a Syndra bug where her Dark Sphere would not cause a stun if you used Force of Will before using Scatter the Weak, which was very, very disabling to her aggressive combo. That has been fixed now though, so she's back to her ball-throwing, stunning self, I suppose.
Yeah. And, if she does get that stun down, he is gonna be a ball-throwing, stunning self indeed. So,
question.
Yes, please.
Who would win in a game of volleyball, Syndra or Orianna?
Well, considering that Syndra has a couple more balls at her in her arsenal, I'd say that Syndra would have a little unfair advantage in a game of volleyball.
Yes, indeed. We are going to go across, of course, the team comps. You going to start off with Heitott's comp?
Yes, of course. In the top lane, it's going to look like it's going to be Blowdeer on Kennen. Or is it Blowdeer or is it BOD? No, it's Blowdeer. Jeez.
Blowdeer.
That client needs a bigger font. In the jungle, it's going to be Sander on Lee Sin. Middle lane, the Phoenix on our spear-chugging, health-nuking Nidalee. And in the bottom lane, it's going to be Karinem and Relta on Caitlyn and Thresh.
And we do have on our red team for XU, we have Rin in the top lane playing Shyvana, Kairu in the jungle playing Thresh, wow, playing
It's not
Aatrox. It's totally Thresh. This is the new splash art that makes it look incredibly like Aatrox.
Thresh jungle, ladies and gentlemen.
I've actually tried it. It works. It works. Thresh jungle works. You may see that in the next probably shouldn't work. Totally not plugging.
Yes.
In the mid lane, we have a Syndra being played by Chols. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not very good with Scandinavian languages, what with being English and thus being ignorant to all languages beyond my own. And in the bottom lane, we have Poppet then playing Ezreal and Ivy playing Annie.
Indeed. So, these are the team compositions. Going over them. What's the main objective of these team compositions? What will be their main target in terms of plays? Will they be relying on early game aggression, or on mid-game team fights, or on late-game sieges, map pressure, and all that? Take us through the team compositions for both of these teams.
It's interesting because both teams have rather a mix of everything. They don't seem to be focused on one direct thing. I mean, both sides have good siege potential because they have the poke damage. For example, on Heitott's side, they've got the Nidalee, they've got the Caitlyn, they've got the Shurikens out of Kennen, they've got the potential to go straight on in if a Sonic Wave or a Death Sentence lands. Very, very threatening in a siege. Beyond that, they've got great AoE ultimates coming out of Thresh and Kennen. They've got great pick potential with the damage from Caitlyn, from Nidalee, from Lee Sin. It's very, very mixed across the board. Same applies to XU's team, actually. Very, very tanky, you can see from Rin and Kairu as well. Not necessarily tanky in build, but tanky by nature thanks to his Bloodwell passive. A lot of damage as well. Kairu, Aatrox, incredibly powerful damage in the early stages of the game. Chulz, little more reliant on items, but you can never say that Syndra isn't dealing damage. Ezreal, great poke potential. Ivy, the Annie, always very, very nasty with that Flash Tibbers combo. And if that Flash Tibbers combo lands, followed up by a Dark Flight, followed up by a Scattered the Weak, heaven knows what would happen.
Heaven knows what would happen indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are through the delay period, and we will be getting into the loading screen for this EGL Summoners Cup number 14 round of 16 match between Team Heitott and XU. My name is The Pash. With me casting here is Elthazar, and of course, I am going to ask you about the level 1 now. Please explain level 1. Go.
I would say the advantage has got to be to Heitott because of the simple fact that they have the Thresh, that reliable level 1 CC that's always going to be there. May not always, but it's always going to be right there. There's nothing better to pick up at level 1 as a Thresh unless someone's getting very, very low on health and you're sat conveniently over a wall while this is happening. On the other side, they have the potential for level 1 crowd control, but they'd be sacrificing something for it. For example, if Aatrox wanted to start Dark Flight, he would be severely weakening his early clear times in the jungle. If Syndra wanted to start Scatter the Weak, her farming would be so badly hurt by that. Annie builds up for the stun, so not necessarily so bad. But
plus,
I would definitely say that... Yes?
Plus, Scatter the Weak without Dark Spheres is kind of pointless, isn't it?
It is a knockback rather than a stun, which is an incredibly good point. So if you don't start with the Dark Sphere, then you are definitely taking your effectiveness to an incredibly low level in the early stage.
Yes. So I am going to I'm going to assume that Syndra will not start Scatter the Weak. Nevertheless, we are in the game, and we're gonna see if these teams will go for level 1 indeed, with Heitott obviously having the advantage in the early level 1 engagements. And again, I noticed that we have a typo in the overlay, ladies and gentlemen. We excuse for that. We will be getting that fixed as soon as possible. It is, of course, not Team Heitott, it is Team Heitott. And we do see Team XU moving into the enemy jungle. Lots of pings going down. There are no wards there from Heitott, because they themselves are in the enemy jungle as well, looking for a blue buff to steal. You see XU backing away now into that blue buff area. So this might turn into a big fight. Pop it then, all alone in this area. Let's see if Heitott manages to catch him out. He is now joined by his support, who has already stunned up his charged up his stun. Kairu also ready to take the blue buff, and it does look like Team Heitott will not be going for any steals right here. So fairly standard start for both of these teams. Lee Sin starting with his red buff in the bottom lane gives him the better leash, of course, because Lee Sin can start both buffs. It's not really limited to any. See some spears coming down, scouting for opponents that may be waiting in brush. But we do see Kairu starting with his blue, and Lee Sin starting with his red. And we will get this overlay fixed.
Tempted to say that starting with that blue buff is slightly less advantageous for an Aatrox because his early aggression strength is very, very high. Even at level 2, he can clear things out very quickly and then go straight in for aggression should he choose to start with something like his Blades of Torment and then pick up Dark Flight. That's an incredibly potent level 2 gank. But that hasn't happened, as he has decided to start with the Blood Price / Bloodthirst. Blades of Torment at level 2. Dare say the Dark Flight will be level 3.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I am aware that you cannot see the game right now. I am sorry, this is a necessary evil in order to get that overlay fixed. But we do have it fixed right now, so we will be getting back into the game. We are very sorry for the inconvenience. You have missed nothing.
I can confirm you have missed absolutely nothing. Farming, and wait for it.
Farming! What's an exciting game so far. 3 minutes into the game, we have seen loads of minion deaths already, and this will only turn into a carnage for these poor little minions on the map. As we do see Papa Den picking up a minion triple kill in the bottom lane.
We actually do see Sander hanging around near the top lane, but it does seem that Rin is aware of it, hanging around near to the top section, those 3 brushes. A little bit of farming, gardening going on in the top lane of Summoner's Rift during the preseason.
Oh, and there's Center, comes in, tries to land the Sonic Wave, does not manage to do it, then backs away again. Was worth a try.
Always worth a try, especially if you can pick up a first blood for someone like a Kennen. Kennen can turn into an absolute monster, especially against a top laner who has purely melee. The only ranged poke that Shyvana possesses is that Flame Breath, and it's only really threatening if you make sure that you can land auto attacks afterwards, because it applies a mark that means that Shyvana deals damage equal to 2% of the target's maximum health every time she strikes it while the mark is on that target.
Very well indeed. So, Kennen, a priority target at a first blood too, is also showing a little bit of lane dominance in terms of CS. Slightly ahead of his lane opponent as the death sentence does land onto Papadan in the bottom lane, but he will just quickly arcane shift out of there as the stun is burned out of Annie. And here we do see Sender catching out Kairu. This may be the blood whale pop. He does use the dark flight, manages to get away, but the spear not quite enough to pick him up. Nicely dodged right there. Would have been his blood whale, would have not have been a first blood, but still, that crucial passive down this early in the game could have meant a lot for Team Heitott.
Calm nerve coming from Kairu there. He did not bother to burn his flash. He was so confident in his ability to survive using that dark flight that he didn't even bother using it. Steel nerve coming out from the Darkened Blade on the Summoner's Rift at this stage in the game. Only 5 minutes in, and guess what? It's farming time.
It is farming time. Certainly more of a quiet start. In the past few games, we have seen First Blood go down a little bit earlier, but these teams will not go for any ballsy plays. They will just farm it out if they have to. They will stay safe, and they will not engage any fights which may not go in their favor. Did see a couple of ganks come out of both of the junglers, but none of them have succeeded in taking down any summoner spells or kills so far. So it's a quiet day on the Rift. We do see Kyra moving in the bottom lane, but a warding totem immediately gets placed to stun, lands onto Raita, but Aatrox is too far away to capitalize on that one. So it's going to be more farming, ladies and gentlemen.
We did see Kyra trying to come into that bottom lane, but as you said, that warding totem did see that coming through. So they backed off, and we're back to the farming. I'm tempted to say that Sander may try and make a play in the middle lane, sat at the raids at this stage. Lane is usually inexorably pushed towards the blue side turret by Jules due to the fact that Syndra's wave clear is just so very strong, especially if Force of Will can be used well.
Oh, here we may see something happen. Ask out of the week lands onto Gryer. Look at that! It's going to be first blood for XU as Unleash the power is used to take down the spear-chugging Nidalee. Nice play right there, and that's a kill for Syndra.
Definitely. I'm tempted to say that he might have been able to hold off a little while longer. Had Kaio been able to land the Blades of Torment as well, that would have been an extra 150 gold, which can stack out very quickly. Especially
I think it would have actually been 200 because assist pool consists of 50% of the kill value, and since First Blood has a kill value of 400, that should be 200 in the assist pool. So yeah, could have waited for that assist, but nevertheless, First Blood is always nice to have.
Definitely, we do actually see that pulling back what was actually a gold lead for Heitott in the early stages of the game due to farm. We do see pretty much across the board farm advantages for Heitott. Not particularly high at this stage, but only 7 minutes in, and the lane phase is still in full swing.
Yes, it is. Other than that First Blood, what's happened about 6 minutes? There hasn't been any summoners burned on any lane. There haven't been any engagements on any lane. There haven't been any ganks on any lane. But this may very well change soon. Hopefully, as we do want to see an action-packed game going. And, of course, remember, we want to see a Baron steal in this game. We want to see, I want to see one, at least.
I certainly do. Chat of the week actually missing as Nidalee pounces on by. Very difficult to make farming exciting.
I'm gonna
Unless
try.
it's the Season 2 World Championships where there was a massive roar every time the board went down.
Well, yeah. We can cheer for ward kills. Because that's probably the most exciting thing that will go on in this game until now. But looking at the... Let's take a look at the items, because there's really nothing else to look at right now, except, of course, minions dying all over the map. And we see a triple Doran's Blade on Kairu.
It is in fact...
Oh, on the bottom lane, the flash timbers out of 80. Finally, some action. True-shot barrage, Dark Flight into carrying him. He will go down. He had to burn his barrier, but will still go down. Ratcha now going to be the next target. Has to burn his flash. They will go for the dive as Timbers tanks the turret, but they will not be able to pick him up. Nice kill on the bottom lane as something happens on this map. And now back to the triple Doran's Blade.
Day of the Dorans, it really is, as there is 5 Dorans on one side of the map and 4 on the other. 9 Doran's Blades currently being held on this Summoner's Rift. We do actually see the recently dead Karinem picking up a BF sword despite his death to his very nice 69 CS so far in the game. However, the 3-man push from XU does take that tower, meaning that the gold lead is actually 2,000, 1,000 and something.
1,100, yeah, approximately. Nice early lead for XU as they continue to make plays all over the map. Have picked up 2 kills so far. First turret also went over to them. We do see Heitott hanging around the dragon area, clearing out that pink ward. Will go for the dragon as they are joined by the Phoenix. In the top lane, we do actually see Rin and Blowdeer going at it, doing some damage to each other. But other than that, nothing's going to happen. We do see Heitott picking up the dragon. That's going to bring the gold back to fairly even, as XU is still sitting on a approximate 300 gold lead, but that's practically nothing. That's a couple of pots, a couple of wards, and not even enough for a longsword.
Definitely not. 10 minutes in, as you have just seen, the first dragon of the game has just gone down, so we'll wait until approximately the 16-minute mark before we'll see him gracing the field once again. Gold is completely even at this stage, with only 100 gold in it.
We do see the death sentence land onto Poppet, then he quickly arcane shifts away, and Ivy does land the Tibbers stun, carrying them very, very, very low. But Raita is there to body block the Mystic shots, and now the Phoenix is coming down from the middle lane. Will he be able to land the spears? He will go around to that Tribrush area, throw down a spear. But they do know what's going on. They do see the spear flying through a previously placed warding totem. So we do see the Nidalee is returning back to her lane as a death sentence is missed on the bottom lane. So XU seems to be in control of this game so far. They just got engaged upon in the bottom lane, but managed to turn it around quite nicely.
Definitely. We do see 0-2 currently the kills, and despite that fact, the gold's fairly even. 0-2 and a turret. But that dragon really is holding XU in the game. Not holding XU in the game, holding Heitott in the game at this early stage. 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Do see farm leads starting to solidify themselves in the top lane. To no one's great surprise, we do see Blowdeer having a very strong farm lead over Rin. At the moment, it is 30, just over.
Oh, Sander may get caught out here as he runs into Kario and Trolls. He will go down here. Trolls picked up that one. The Phoenix has to run away. Will they go for the dive here? Kario does have the Bloodwell available. They do decide to go for it. He cleanses away the Scatter the Weak stun. And we will be seeing XU pick up that middle outer turret as the Phoenix went in a little bit too deep. Kairo going for the dive, taking a lot of turret damage. Will the spear be enough to take him down? Nah, it does hit. Bloodwell is popped. So that's at least something. But the turret will still go down in the bottom lane. You do see the True Shot Barrage come out, trying to do some damage onto Karinem and Raita, as Ivy is going very, very aggressive, but runs straight into the Thresh box, gets ignited, gets killed. Poppet then in a little bit of trouble as well. He dives in, trying to take down Karinem. Will he be able to burn the barrier? But the pilled over Peacemaker, followed by an auto attack, will be enough to take him down. So that's a 2-0 on the bottom lane, due to a very reckless engage out of XU.
Definitely, I think going a little bit too far, considering that he did not have the passive active. Pyromania gaining 1 stack every time a spell is cast, and it's a 1.75 second stun though, which is probably one of the longer length stuns in the game.
Well, nothing beats Fiddlestick's 3,000 year fear.
Ah, yes, the 3,000 year fear. Hallowed throughout the ages is the most annoying thing in the game.
Yes.
Either that or the Rammus taunt.
Or this little champion called Teemo.
He's annoying. I'll give him that much, but I won't give him the sufficient credit to say that he's the most annoying.
No, that's true, though. That's true. Puncturing Taunt and Terrified probably take that one. We do see Nidalee picking up her blue buff with a well-placed spear. That's going to be a transfer over, and Bloodier actually going aggressive onto that top lane turret, but he's going in too deep. There's a dark fight out of Aatrox. Dragon's Descent out of Rin. He has used his Slicing Maelstrom, has to flash away. The Ignite is ticking away, but it will not quite be enough to take him down. 30 HP remaining on this little Yordle cannon, and he does survive. But now, this top turret's wide open, and Rin and Kyra are moving in, but here comes Sander, lands a Sonic Wave, but he gets aggressed upon. Look at that, they dive in, we will be able to pick him up. Nice Dragon's Rage kicks away Kyra, but Rin will be able to pick him up with a flash, but the turret, one more hit, no, they both survive. Very, very close right there. They do manage to pick up 2 kills up in that bottom lane. No, actually Kennen survived, so it was only 1 kill.
Do see the attempt of an engagement in the bottom lane, but nothing's going to come of it. Spear does land in Avi's face, dealing tons of damage, but nothing to follow it up then. Nothing really to fear. Charles may actually get caught out at this point.
No, just scatters the weak away. Yeah.
He could probably refer to them as the weak at this point. Currently sat on 3-0. Charles is doing very well. 129 CS. Highest in the game at this point. But
Jules does decide to go aggressive onto carrying him. Look at that. He explodes, but now he may be in a little bit of trouble as Phoenix coming in. Has to burn his flash to get away. And as the minions come in, he will be saved from further spears as Rin goes aggressive onto Bloodier, and the top lane has to charge away.
Iroh does come down into that mid lane as well. But as far as I'm concerned, that just means more targets to be hit with spears.
Suicide Barrage coming through. Clearing out that minion wave. Gonna stop the siege. And we do see Sander moving away back into his jungle. That's gonna be the end of the great siege of the middle lane. Not gonna start.
Rin pushing Bloodier back to his turret, dealing a lot of damage and absolutely dominating in trades at this stage.
Oh, the Phoenix going very, very low as Chols again goes aggressive onto him. He managed to pick him up with a nice get of the week. Rata gonna be the next target. He will go down as well. Double kill for Syndra. 6-0-0. Syndra coming out really, really big in this game. The top lane center maybe going in onto Rin soon. There's the Slicing Maelstrom. He is now in turret range. Enter coming in as well. Does land the Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike. The stun does land. Has to use the Dragon's Descent to get away from this one, but he manages to survive. Meanwhile, the rest of XU taking down the middle inner turret, and that's going to be a nice pickup for them, bringing up their turret lead to 3-1. I guess the hole is attempted. Will it land? No, it will not. And, yeah. Top turret. Yes, please. Oh, Sandra getting caught out in this jungle. I am sorry about that. We do see some more aggression coming down. Errol going very low as well. Put it over Peacemaker. Not quite enough to pick him up, but that spear could be his death. Carrying him picks up the kill with an auto attack. Papa then goes down, but in the meanwhile, the top inner turret was taken down. No, top outer, excuse me. And that's hopefully going to be the end of it. Now you can speak. I'm sorry.
Well, the first pun is wasted, but the second survives. Pop it then was pop just then.
Oh, God.
We do actually see Heitott going for the dragon once again. We did see them pick up the first board uncontested. However, well, there's nothing that XU can do at this point. 187 gold per person comes out for Heitott, and it's still actually behind in gold though. They actually do have a 2,000 gold deficit. XU have been pushing turrets so well this game. Outer and inner gone in middle lane. Outer's gone in both the other lanes.
They are certainly winning the objective game here. And the kill game too. And the gold game as well. We did see the dragon go over to Heitott. It was the second dragon of the game they actually picked up. But they're still behind in gold. And XU doing their best to make some plays all over the map. They're gonna constantly apply pressure. They will be looking to take more objectives as the middle lane is completely free for the taking, pushed all the way through to the inhibitor turret. So if anything's going to be their next priority target, it is probably going to be this lane. As Sky of the Week lands onto the Phoenix, quickly cleanses that away.
Definitely, we can see the biggest advantage right now is currently in this middle lane. 6-0-0 Chills. Not even 20 CS ahead, but those kills are paying so much dividends for him at this stage. As you can see that he has a full Rabadon's death cap in advantage to his lane opponent.
Yeah. Sonny Regular Strong has not picked up the Sorcerer's Shoes just yet, but he is sitting on, well, 330 gold, so it won't be able to pick that one up in the near future. Unless he gets another kill, of course, and that may as well happen as he is. Huge damage coming out. All it needs is one target that he has to catch out, and then that's going to be a kill. So, Syndra definitely a force to be reckoned with. In this game, will receive a blue buff as well now from Cairo. It's going to boost up her mana regeneration, but more importantly, the cooldowns. A little bit of pressure coming out of Rin, but maybe in a bad situation here is that Heitott is closing in onto him, or are they? Or is it the exact other way around? Exio is coming in as well. Oh, the spear is already doing much damage. Oh, he's another one. Death sentence onto Ivy. He will go down here. That skill's gonna go over to Reiter. There's the Dragon to send out of Ren. Flashing Maelstrom used out of Blotnir. He'll be able to pick one up as well. Hasten the Hole coming down onto Chills, but he will not go down. He is godlike. Takes down the cannon and carrying them, going very low as well. Ren now in the Dragon form, deep inside, but he has gone in a little bit too deep. Will go down. Phoenix will pick up that one. Chills and Cairo, the last remaining members of Team XU, will survive this one, but it is a 3-for-1 trade.
Phoenix more than insistent to try and chase Chills down. Currently 7-0, that would be a 500 gold bounty, but the spear will not land.
Right, is going to try to land the death sentence. Maybe have gone in a little too deep. Chills is legendary. Look at him. Look at him, Phoenix. Gonna try to pick him up, but will get aggressed upon now. There's the Dark Flight in from Cairo. He will manage to take down the Syndra, but he will give his life for it.
Tempted to say that's not particularly worth it, but
nah.
Shutdown in most cases is.
I mean, sure, it was a shutdown. It was 500 gold. That's gonna help out quite a bit, but they did have the 3-for-1, and by letting both Thresh and Nidalee's lives go just to pick up the Chills, I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have been happy with the 3-for-1, because it was the first fight in a long time that they actually won, and tried to do something with that, instead of trying to chase after more kills and get killed for it.
Definitely. We did actually see that the gold, however, despite how you said that fights have normally been going in XU's favor, with the exception of the last one, of course, gold, there's only 900 in it, as we do see 2 minutes until the dragon respawns. 4-for-1 tower currently lead for XU, and I am good at English apparently.
We all are. Yes, Heitott definitely. Heitott definitely keeping themselves in the game here. They are doing quite nicely, even though they have lost 3 more turrets than XU. And even though they are 4 kills behind, as you have said, gold lead is only at 1,000.
Definitely big items coming out at this point. Rin has the Sunfire Cape. At this point, can't really buy anything else right now because it is League of Dorans at this stage. However, big items coming out elsewhere. The Spirit Visage, core item really for any Aatrox. It stacks out with his health regen so well. And of course, the bonus health he gains back from the Bloodthirst passive is incredibly potent too. In the middle lane, Syndra getting stronger and stronger. Has the Rabadon's Death cap. Has the Athene's Unholy Grail. Has a Amplifying Tome and a cloth armor, most likely going for the Seeker's Arm Guard. And of course, in the AD carry role, we do see the Trinity Force on Ezreal, along with the components for a Last Whisper. No surprises there.
Yep. And things have calmed down a little bit on the map. You do see some spirits coming out, trying to catch some targets, trying to get the health low. But other than that, it's more of a tense standoff between those two teams. I am sure XU are aware that their lead is not as big as it may look like from in terms of turrets and kills, and they are playing this quite safely. I think during that last fight they noticed that maybe we aren't as strong as we need to be able to convincingly take this game, as Kairu gets caught out by a death sentence. That's flayed away. That's a two-shot barrage coming through, doing some damage. Spear coming out, not quite landing. Does get caught out, but manages to prevent the engage from happening. Eisenhower coming out onto Tjols, doing some good damage. That's gonna leave some well-poked down XU members. Oh, he eats another spear, and now he has to watch out as another spear will be able to pick him up. And those spears are constantly being chugged out. Kairu now has to run away. Will the Dark Flight be available? He manages to dodge the spear, right? Using the Dark Passage to try to get some team members in. We do see Heitott slowly but surely managing to chase XU away from their turret. And they will pick up their first outer turret, middle outer turret of the game here. Oh, the death sentence lands onto AV, but they cannot really capitalize on it. And now we do see them getting pushed away from that turret. It's an eternal back and forth in that middle lane, while in the top lane, it has been Bloodier versus Rin for quite a while now. So that lane pretty much cut off from the entire action on the map.
We do see the teams now starting to reform and maybe rescind a couple of their previous plans, writing up plans anew. It does seem that force from XU would be able to push down this middle lane, but Rin seems to be more than happy to just sit around and push the top lane.
And he will continue doing that. There are 4 people from Heitott moving on towards that general area. There are a lot of moments where an engage almost happens, but then it ends up not happening. But now XU are making the move. Kennen very far out. There's the Dragon's Descent. He does activate the Slicing Maelstrom, but will go down. But there's the flash in from Reicha, activates the box, but gets bursted down immediately. In the meanwhile, Kairu's Bloodwell gets popped. The center comes in. Krine and Perry manages to pick up Tjols here. And now XU has to run away. Oh, Ace-No will be enough to pick up the Ezreal. Kairu will use the Dark Flight over the wall. It's a 2-for-2 so far. But Heitott still in pursuit. The Phoenix will try to throw out those spears. Try to pick up Kairu, but he just Dark Flights away against the recall. Very even fight.
Even it would seem, but it was a simple fact that it was the top laner and the support that went down for Heitott. And it was the mid laner and the AD carry that went down for XU. So that was actually an advantageous fight for Heitott. And we do see Phoenix now feeling sufficiently confident to go and try and steal that blue buff. Not really much that can be done about it. His damage is sufficiently high that he should be able to pick that up.
And they will pick up the dragon as well, and that will put them in the lead in terms of gold. So even though they're still 2 turrets behind, they're still 4 kills behind, they are in the lead in terms of gold. And that might very well be due to the farm advantage that we see here on the bottom lane that Karinam has. We do see the flash in from Syndra in the bottom lane to get onto the Phoenix. Kairu coming in from the river as well. He does not manage to land the Blade of Torment. Dark Flights nicely juked by the Phoenix, but he will go down here to the Force of Will out of Tjols. They do check if Dragon is still there. It is not. They will move on to the middle lane, though. The Phoenix, with his very strong poking potential that his spirits bring with him, is now down. And that will go a long way in keeping those health bars up for the upcoming inhibitor turret siege. We do see, oh, look at that, the Dark Flight in from Kairu after a nice flash. Unleash the power will be enough to take down Karinam. That's another high damage dealer down for Heitott, but XU does back away. They will not be picking up this inhibitor turret just yet.
Interesting to see what they actually are going to do. Meanwhile, Rin does finally push down this top inner, which means that that's a significant advantage. Sander does come in towards the top lane, but decides not to engage. And once again, the 4-man push coming onto that middle inheritor turret. But every time a fight seems to be about to happen, they just seem to be more than content to step on back and wait for the next attempt.
Yep. And whatever the new item name for Shirelia's is gets popped. So XU will get away. I'm going to actually take a look here. Talisman of
Talisman of
Ascension.
Ascension.
Yeah. It's just gonna get some time to get used to. It's been Shurelia's for 3 seasons, and now they changed the name. R.I.P. Shurelia's.
One thing I do like is that all the quotes, they have little quotes on all of the components. Every quote on each of the items is made by Historian Shirelia.
Getting the tribute for Shirelia going right there. We will never forget Shirelia and everything she has done for the game. So, a shout out to Shirelia. You're awesome. And we all love your zoning tutorial video.
Oh.
Heitott making the moves here on the middle lane. Death Sentence came out but did not quite land. Sonic Wave also thrown out. Spears thrown out. They are throwing out everything. Let's see if they are gonna go for this middle inner turret here. Does seem like it. They're dealing a lot of damage onto it. But Rin is, as you have said, pushing down the bottom lane in a nice split push. But here, this might be the big engagement coming down. Rin does manage to pick down the turret, but here we go. Heitott does engage Kairu, going very, very low. Bloodwell gets popped, but Scholes is just going to pick himself up Lee Sin. And now Heitott has to run away. Darkflight in from Kairu. Blaze of Torment not quite able to catch out carrying him. And in the meanwhile, Rin is on the bottom inhibitor turret, able to take it down quite nicely. In the meanwhile, carrying him actually managed to pick up Kairu, but gets killed by Scholes, as Ezreal manages to pick up a cannon. And the Phoenix and Raita are still running away. In the meanwhile, Rin taking down the bottom inhibitor turret is now onto the inhibitor. This might be a very, very crucial point in the game, as it does look like Heitott will lose their bottom inhibitor here after having lost a fight in the middle lane. Raita does see what's going on, but he can't really do anything. That's going to be the first inhibitor of the game for XU. And they're going to push down this middle inhibitor turret as well. They will potentially even be able to pick up the middle inhibitor. Rin is punching away at it. Home guard boots out of the Phoenix. The inhibitor will not go down, but they lose the turret. That means their middle inhibitor is now exposed. They have lost the entire control over the bottom half of the map. That is Dragon, that is Red Buff, that is a lot of jungle camps. And their top inner was also pushed down prior to that, so they lost pretty much the control over the Baron area as well. And we did see them go for the Baron earlier, but now that their inhibitor is down, and on the complete opposite side of the map, I'm not sure if they can apply any pressure to that, or even try to intercept should XU go for it.
You were speaking of the Dragon earlier, 1 minute 30 until that respawns for the 4th time in the game. All 3 of them so far have gone to Heitott, which means that I'm tempted to say that XU should really prioritize getting that as their next objective. Baron should be the biggest fight in the game, and hopefully we might see another juicy steal or 2, but shall never know until it happens. That is the wonderful theory of League.
Yes. I am very excited to see another steal happening.
Rin once again in split push modes, this time back in the top lane, going in towards that inhibitor, forcing the Phoenix to stay in that area, but the rest of the team...
Oh, the Death Sentence lands onto Puppet, then this might be huge. The Arcane shifts away, but the Sonic Wave out of center did land. He jumps into 4 members of XU, kicks Kairu in, but he just uses the Drug Fight to get away. Here comes the fight, slicing Maelstrom used by Bjoldir. Nice use of that Zonia's Hourglass, manages to take down Kairu. Karina picks up that one, but look at that, unleash the power. Power is unleashed onto Kennen. And he goes down. 1 for 1 so far. Ace in the hole coming out. Dealing some major damage onto Puppet then, but not enough to pop him then. Carrying them, going very, very low. Santer as well, trying to deal some aggression onto Chols, but he will not go down. Or yes, he will, but he gets taken down afterwards. Double kill for Ezreal so far. It's the 3 for 2. Carrying them will be going down as well, as Dragon's Descent is used by Shyvana. The Phoenix gonna be the last target here, trying to run. Takes him very, very low. Will they be able to pick him up? The spear comes out. No, not quite enough to hit. But the middle inhibitor is exposed. Minions are flowing in. Phoenix gonna have one hell of a task defending this one. He will not be able to. That's gonna be the 2nd inhibitor picked up here by XU. As actually, one of the Nexus turrets goes down to the minions flowing in from the bottom lane.
Oh wow, that's incredible aggression coming out. And now it's going to put the entirety of Heitott's position in the game right on the back foot. This would be a perfect time. Jesus. Sorry, I just yawned for no apparent reason. Oh dear. What was I saying?
This will be the perfect time. ...
This will be the perfect time for our red team to go for the Baron. They have vision control. As you said, map presence is absolutely terrible at this point for Heitott. XU have the potential to do that. For a second I thought Cairo had Oracle's Elixir, then I remembered that Oracle's Elixir doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Damn it, Riot.
It may very well be the case, though. He has
now.
the Oracle's Lens, and that basically gives him an Oracle's Elixir for 10 seconds after using that. So that may be the reason why. See, there we go. AV, having used that Oracle's Lens, now has an Oracle's Eye there as well. Medusa XU going for the Baron. Center is there. Come on, Center. I know you can do the steal. Or can you? Karu diving in with the Dark Flight. True Shot Barrage coming through as well. Turbis has been used. In the meanwhile, the bottom inhibitor has respawned, but Baron is going down very quickly. Will Center be able to get the steal? He gets in close, but he will not be able to get it. Aww. And now the engagement follows. Slicing Mushroom used by Bloater, but Hui going very, very low. Poppet then in the middle of that, but he will be able to take him down. Jules picks up that one, and they are now going on to carry him. AV picks up that one, and the Phoenix running away from both Rin and Kairu. He's in Italy, so I guess he'll be able to jump away from it. Yep, there we go. You cannot catch in Italy. Poppet then coming in as well. The Dragon's Rage kicking Kairu away. The Death Sentence landing onto him, but they're still all the way onto the top inhibitor turret, and they're still in numbers. 5 versus 3 in this situation. Kairu has gone very, very low, but they will be able to pick up this top inhibitor turret and the top inhibitor as well. The bottom inhibitor has respawned. Oh, Raida going very low. Will they be able to pick him up? Yes, they will! Senator picks up that one. They're going to jump straight onto these Nexus turrets. Excuse me, Nexus turret, because one already went down. The Nexus will be taken down as well. This is going to be the game for XU. Kill lead of 26 to 12, 64,000 gold to 52.6, 11 turrets to 3. After 35 minutes and 8 seconds, good game, well played.
Star Mention needs to go straight to Charles. 15 to 3 in this game. Over half of his team's kills sat on that Syndra, unleashing the power across the map throughout the game.
Very, very true indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Heitott versus XU. Heitott versus XU, and we will be right back with another exciting, hopefully, League of Legends match. Don't go anywhere. Stick around.